In South Africa, we're going to hear from our tourism minister, that's Derek Hanekom, on what he thinks is the key leadership priority for South Africa's future. He was speaking to our colleague, Bronwyn Nielsen.
What has emerged and is emerging is the skills base of our people and the educational base of ordinary South Africans. But really underpinning it is effective ways to deal with poverty, unemployment and inequality. That's really the big challenge. And then all sorts of things have to be done in order to address this big challenge that faces us as a country. And the way to do it, and maybe I'm preempting your next question, is clearly the best way to do it is through collaboration, through partnership, and through a kind of a mindset change where leadership is not just about leadership in government, it's very important, but leadership in civil society, responsible leadership in the business sector, with a common purpose to say, look, these are our common challenges. Yes, we may represent particular interests at a particular time, but we will not get deflected from pursuance of that big common goal, because we can only do it together. We certainly, given the challenges we have as a country, we will not overcome these challenges and we will not reach the kinds of goals that we've set for ourselves as a country if we don't do it in partnership, collaboratively.
Minister, to achieve that collaborative leadership, we have to start trusting one another. And there is a huge trust deficit between business, labour and government. A challenging question, I know, but how do you think we can overcome the trust deficit?
Well, I mean, there are new popular and fashionable terms like trust deficit. I heard this for the first time a few months ago, and it's true. There's insufficient trust among these social partners. We just have to continuously work at it, because, you know, there are possible conflicting interests. If you're a labor union leader, if you're a union leader, your first priority is to protect the interests and advance the interest of your own members. But you want to get that mind shift change where you say, look, I do want to advance the interests of our members who are working people, but their future is only guaranteed if other measures are addressed simultaneously. If the economy doesn't grow, we may have short-term gains in improved wages, improved working conditions, but in the longer term, more people will be unemployed and it won't be possible to achieve higher wages, for example. Similarly, business. The business has to come to the party and say, what can we do in every possible way to advance our social progress, if you like, in our country, to tackle these problems, because the problem of poverty, the problems of inequality will impact on business at the same time. So it's a mindset change where we recognize that these problems that are underpinning our advancement towards the kind of society that we envisage in the National Development Plan is a common challenge, and the non-reaching of those goals will impact negatively on everybody.
Just a final question now, as your portfolio as Minister of Tourism, what's keeping you up awake at night at the moment, if anything?
Well, you know, I wake up at night feeling quite excited about some of the great things that we are doing in South Africa. And when I say we, it's not a government boast. I think there's a good framework created, but the we is fundamentally talking about the industry in South Africa. So we have a very dynamic, vibrant industry, and we've seen decades of tourism growth, if you like. What keeps me awake at night is how we can sustain that growth. And thinking about, without going to the details, some of the obstacles and finding smart ways around those obstacles so that we can not only sustain that growth, but actually enhance the pace of that growth.